Alright, hello Algebra Honors. This is our second video. It's the second part of our Unit 7 on polynomials, our Unit 7 study guide. So we are looking at number 16, and that says choose one polynomial from each column to result in the given product. So we're looking for two different factors that are going to give us that expression you see up on top there. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and factor out and hope that the factors I pull are going to exist in columns 1 and 2. So I see 24x cubed y squared plus 16xy cubed plus 12y cubed. I think I can pull 4 and y squared from everything. So I'm going to pull out 4y squared. It looks like I can get those from each of the terms. 24 divided by 4 is 6. X cubed doesn't change. And y squared divided by y squared is just 1, so I'm going to leave that. Okay. My next term, 16 divided by 4 is 4. X doesn't change because there's no x, but y cubed divided by y squared is just y. And then I have 12 divided by 4 is 3. And y cubed divided by y squared is going to be just y. Okay, so when I factor this out, I have 4y squared times 6x cubed plus 4xy plus 3y. So let's see. I do have 4y squared in column 1. And they offer me 6x cubed plus 4xy plus 3y. So I'm going to say those are my answers. 4y squared and 6x cubed plus 4xy plus 3y. Now, if I hadn't factored out everything in that trinomial, I could have just kind of randomly multiplied something from column 1 times something from column 2, but that might have been a lot more math. All right, so for 17 through 28, we're going to factor completely. So make sure that you do factor completely, not just part of the way. If the expression is prime, you can write prime in the blank if the whole thing is prime. Okay, and do check your work by multiplying back out or distributing. So, for number 17, I see that they are both even. It looks like I can pull a 2, and I have an A and a B and an A and a B. So I'm going to pull out 2AB. So 50 divided by 2 is 25. A cubed divided by A is A squared, and B divided by B is just 1. Negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4, and AB divided by AB is just 1. So that's going to be my final answer there. Okay, oh, but it's not. What do you see? A perfect square and a perfect square. Always look back at your answer because I have not factored completely, have I? I'm going to say this is 2AB times, remember with the difference of squares, you take the square root of the first term. Sorry, I was starting to put squared and that was not true. Okay, so you take the square root of the first term and the square root of the last term, right? And you're going to have 5a plus 2 times 5a minus 2. Now I'm done. I almost got caught right out of the gate by a difference of squares. Okay, 16y squared minus 24y plus 9. No common factor, but I see a perfect square in the front and a perfect square at the back, so let's see. If I take the square root here, it's 4y. Square root here is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. And 12y doubled is 24y. I have a perfect square trinomial. Okay, so I know since it's a perfect square trinomial, I can take the square root of my first term. I get 4y. The square root of my last term. And I'm going to square that because it's a perfect square trinomial, so it comes from one binomial squared. Now I have to decide, am I adding or subtracting those two terms? Well, since my middle term is subtracting, I'm going to subtract inside there. You can always check, and on a test you should. 4y minus 3 times 4y minus 3 is what this means, right? We're not killing any bunnies, right? 4y times 4y is 16y squared. Outer is negative 12y, and inner is also negative 12y, so that's negative 24y. And then last is 9. So I'm just checking my work. 16y squared minus 24y plus 9. Check, it worked. So I'm pretty confident. Oh, this is check your work. Okay, over here on number 17, I suppose I should have checked. You want to multiply those binomials first and then distribute your monomial. So I'm going to say that I have 2ab. This is my check. Okay, 2ab times 5a times 5a is 25a squared. Outer is negative 10a, inner is positive 10a, so those go away. And then last is negative 4. Now, to continue to check, 2ab times 25a squared is going to be 50a cubed b, right? 2 times 25 is 50. A times a squared is a cubed, and then I have that b. And 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, and it's still times ab. I look back up to make sure that's what I started with, and it is, so hooray. Okay, number 19, 8m squared minus 6m minus 5. I do not see anything that I can pull out of all three. So I need two numbers that multiply to give me negative 40, but add to give me negative 6. And so I'm going to say that's negative 10 and 4. Negative 10 times 4 is negative 40. Negative 10 plus 4 is negative 6. So if I do this with my box method, I'm going to put my first term, my leading coefficient, the whole term, 8m squared in my top box. In my bottom right, it's going to be negative 5, and then I use my magic numbers to fill in the other two boxes. Oops, m, negative 10m and 4m. Okay, and now I'm going to factor out, and so I have 2m, here I have just 1, here I have 4m, and here I have negative 5. So I factored it, and I got 2m plus 1 times 4m minus 5. Multiply those out, and you get 2m times 4m is 8m squared. Outer is negative 10m, inner is plus 4m, and last is negative 5. And that does indeed equal 8m squared minus 6m minus 5. Check, that's what I expected. Okay, n cubed plus 5n squared minus 9n. I'm going to pull an n, so I have n times n squared plus 5n minus 9. I need two numbers that multiply to give me negative 9 and add to give me 5. And that can't happen, right? That's not a thing. So this trinomial is prime, but I was able to pull something out. So I'm going to just leave my answer as n times n squared plus 5n minus 9. Since this original expression is not prime, I'm not going to write prime as my final answer. Right, I am going to factor out. All right. And to check my work, I would just distribute through, so n times n squared is n cubed, n times 5n is 5n squared, sorry, we're adding, n times negative 9 is negative 9n, and that is what I had to begin with. All right, we're going to factor out completely. I can take a 7 out of those, and I have a minus b. There's nothing else to do. That's it, and if I check it, 7 times a, is 7a minus 7b. Here, I'm going to pull out x cubed, and we have a whole other page. So I guess we're going to have 3 videos since I've got students coming in. So sorry, come back for the 3rd video.